And welcome back to the countertop. And today we are doing beef empanadas from the food of Argentina. Hi and welcome back. And the recipe I'm doing today is from this book, The Food from Argentina. This book is basically try to collect all the classic Argentinian food, which is basically an amazing mixture between Italian, German, Armenian food, Spanish food, pretty much put everything together, and of course with a lot of meat on it. The way the book is structured is pretty much that you have the foods that you eat at home, the foods that you eat at bars, the foods that you eat, like that you cook on fire, and basically everything that is pretty much like a lunch or something more light to eat. And in all of these you have the savory ones and the sweet ones. And the recipe we are doing today, it's a beef empanada. So we're going to do this recipe in two parts. So the first part is we're going to do the empanada dough, and then the second part we're going to do the beef filling, and then building everything together and baking. All right, so let's go for the ingredients. Here's all the ingredients that we need for our empanada today. For our dough, you're gonna need 1 teaspoon of salt, 185 ml of ice water, 500 grams of all-purpose flour, and 250 grams of butter that you need to melt. For our filling, you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 large white onions finely chopped. You're also gonna need 500 grams of ground beef, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground paprika, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 egg. Keep in mind that it's important for you to have ice water instead of just regular water, because since the empanada dough is almost like a puff pastry, it's gonna be way easier for you to open the dough itself. Let's start making our dough. The first thing you're gonna need to do is put the salt into your ice water and mix really well to make sure that you have pretty much like everything super dissolved between the water and the salt. And now you can do these in two ways. The first way, you can use a bigger bowl and knead using your hands, or you can use a stand mixer and do it that way. I'm gonna put the flour into a bigger bowl and open a hole in the middle, and now you can drop the melt butter in the middle and you start mixing. Now that pretty much everything is a little bit more incorporated, it's time for you to put your ice water with salt here too, and mix and continue to mix until you have everything incorporated. Now that you already mix your dough, now it's time for us to knead a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. So I already put some flour here on my work surface, and I'm gonna knead this dough just a little bit until we have like more like a soft texture. Now that your dough it's really well kneaded and you can see like you have a very nice color and very nice texture, we're just gonna cut these in half to make sure that it's gonna be easy for us to manipulate these later, and cover for 1 hour, or you can cover these, put in the fridge overnight if you want to use for the other day. All right, let's jump to the filling and then we come back to the dough. So now let's do our filling. Doing the filling is super simple. So the first thing, you're gonna put your frying pan on your stove, add your olive oil and put your onions on medium heat, and cook for 10 to 15 minutes until you have everything, all the onions a little super softened. Then you add your ground beef, your salt, your paprika and your cumin, and you cook for more 10 minutes. After these 10 minutes, you're gonna get 250 ml of water, put on the frying pan and cook for more 30 minutes, something around that, until the water just evaporated everything. The filling is ready. Now it's time for us to make the dough. The first thing, you turn your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. You get one of the 2 halves of your dough. You put some flour on your work surface and you drop your dough here. And using the roll, you start opening your dough first with your hands and then open using our roll to make like a big circle. And with your dough open, you just put a little bit of flour on the top, just for not to be too sticky. And you start to making the circles. Since I don't have a cookie cutter here, I'm just using a bowl pretty much with the same size, so like almost like 12 centimeters to mark these and start making our empanada discs. And with the dough that is left over, you can roll up again and start doing more discs. After we open our dough, it's time to start making the empanadas itself. So I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not, so let's try it. So the first thing, you're gonna make just one little pinch here on the bottom to make sure that it holds together. The dough is super soft, too soft for my opinion right now. And you put 2 tablespoons of meat, and first you pinch everything, and here you start making twisting on the dough on the top. To have your little empanada. Let's make with the other ones. And then you transfer these to your baking tray, break up your egg, and you're going to brush your empanadas. And this is going to the oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until they're puffed and golden brown, okay? As we can see, we are here in a different place, so this is not my kitchen, this is not where I normally do my weekly videos. This is a friend's house here in Brazil that I travel here for the holiday season to see my parents and see my friends, but he was kindly enough to borrow his kitchen. You can follow him on YouTube, you can follow him on Instagram. Please see here his random handles for those social networks. So here's our empanadas. It doesn't look like as golden brown as I expected, also because it didn't take just 20 minutes. It took a little bit more for me to make the empanadas, so you pretty much stay on the oven for something around 35 minutes. I don't know why, probably because this oven is not as strong or not as constant as I expected, because I never cooked on this one before. But let's see, let's try. Maybe it's super good and like I'm just like not liking the face of the empanadas. So now let's try it. At least in the bottom looks like pretty well cooked, so let's see. It's actually good, but I think the dough dries too much because it stays way longer in the oven how it should be. But the filling stays right, it's still like very moisty inside. The dough is super dry, as you can see, but it's good. I mean, if I probably have like a stronger oven or a more constant oven, probably we're gonna be able to get these correctly, so I cannot blame the book or the recipe itself, but it's actually good. I'm gonna also try to make these at home on the oven that I know to see if this will change. You can see these, I'm gonna try to make these on the Instagram stories on our Instagram channel that is pretty much here. Again, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and see you next week. Bye!